Shadim Shari, wishful thinking. Green paradise. Are we gonna get some green paradise today? I think so. At least pre-market is flashing green as far as the future market. Let's hit some consumer staples and food related stocks, which got beat up pretty badly. Top of my list, the one I like, the one that I did add a little bit Friday, and I will add more today, is Hormel. It came down to Reflo. Um, Reflo was 29.21, and Friday it came down to 29.18. Right, so it's there. Can it get down to 52-week low? Possibly. Can it get down to channel low? Possibly. But I don't think this is a real. What is that line? Is that any kind of legit line? Sometimes I saw lines on the chart that make no sense to me. Yeah, that line is not really. I wouldn't call that line. Could that be a channel? Not quite. Okay, not quite. When it's 1 point, it looked like this from the far distance, but once you zoom in, not really. This one is more, to me, 52-week low, but I would ignore the top line. Okay, I don't think that's, because if you zoom in, you can see it didn't really touch, and it didn't really touch, so it's not. Sure, if you want to move it down, you can. In fact, I think it's a better thing to move it down, because then it would touch. Let's do this, because that top line is kind of goofy. See, now it's one of those. It's one of those. I can see why I did that now. Right, remove. Let's fix that later. I don't see it coming up there right now, but for me, that's the one. Okay, Hormel I like. General Mill, I like it here. It filled the gap, almost touched full retracement of the fib. Yeah, I like it here. To me, a lot of these food stocks, I can speculate. A lot of these food stock came down hard since the election. Mainly, well, part of it is, of course, the overall market, and then inflation, right? And this is the dilemma with the market right now, right? I'm sure you heard of stagflation. Stagflation is probably what scared the market the most right now. Stagflation is a situation where you have high inflation as well as a bad economy. Stagnate. That's where stagflation came from. The word stagnate, and no doubt that is a key component of why TLT, the bond market, is behaving the way it is, because it's fearing inflation. Fearing. All right. So there's no evidence that it is raging back, as you have seen some of the headline, but the fear is enough to put stagflation into the mindset of Wall Street. But I just, I can go into a political rant on what I think about that fear, but for now, I like GIS here. If you don't have exposure to boring staples, it is not so boring. All right, it's there's a trend. It came down 20%. All right, so I think the risk reward is owning it. Next up, Kraft Heinz, 52-week low. Holy smoke, it got smoke right now. How low can it go? I don't think much more lower, but let's draw the chart to give us guideline, right? So let's say you do it like this, right? Is there a duplicate channel? We'll see. Well, look at that. Would you say that's a decent looking channel? Yeah. So, assuming that this is a legit channel, low, high, low, high. Not that, I'm not predicting that it's gonna go there, but when you draw the channel, I just want to show people that where it can go should things go really bad. Okay. Keep in mind I'm not predicting that it's gonna come down there, but let's remove some of these lines that mean nothing. Yeah, that means nothing. Now, it was not random that it went 52-week low. Guess where it came? Last October, it was there. Look at that. It's crazy, right? Last October, the low was 30.68. Oops. Come on. Give me the straight line. Okay, so it basically came down to ref low and bounce pretty hard. Keep in mind, it's not all the time that everything hit at the perfect penny. That's not how things work, right? It doesn't work like it hit right on the penny on the certain ref point. No, at some point when it was crashing, sure, the bots come in, the dip buyer came in, the bargain hunter came in, right? Can you see it? Yeah, look, it didn't last long. Okay, the bargain at ref low, well, it hit ref low. Look, it came in, it came down, no doubt buyer came in to support it, and then there was a brief, let's see, 1 hour, less than that, or like half an hour of maximum of pain, and then after that it came up. So I like KFC, I like Kraft Heinz here too. I like so far 3 for 3. I wouldn't mind owning all three. I only have Hormel right now, but I think GIS is number 2 on my list. Kraft Heinz number 3. What's next? Hershey. Oh, see, Hershey came. I talk about Hershey many times when it's in the 180, right? If you bought Hershey at 180-ish, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 trip to green paradise. You literally had 4 trip in the last 12 months to green paradise. 10% return. 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. This time it didn't work, right? Sure, tax loss. I talked about it on a tax loss week that this was a potential good spot to buy. Well, it was not. For the first time, it broke down. Now let's go back into the time machine. Was it a random spot? Was it a random? Let's go back 5 years. Keep in mind, we're talking about pandemic low. Now is a 5-year chart. Look at this. Shh. You can say that it's ref low zone. Yeah, look. Okay. So it's not random. Same thing here. Inflation, high sugar, high cocoa, right? I prefer to go with of course, Hormel and General Mills and Kraft Heinz, but I don't think buying Hershey here is a bad idea either, right? If you want to diversify. And then last on this list is the other sugar maker, sugary sweet snack, Mondelez. Oreo cookies, if you don't know, that's their top, one of the top, you know, when people talk about Hershey, it's easy to know what Hershey is, right? It's Hershey chocolate. But when you talk about Mondelez, a lot of people's like, what do they, I believe they do Keebler's, you know, those Keebler crackers. I think it's Keebler cookies. That's them. But I think Oreo, that I know for certain is Oreos, is Mondelez. It hit key support here, as well as reflow. Look, see? So I like this. So out of the 5, did I show you 5 total or 6? I show 5. I would say Hershey is my least favorite. And then Hormel, General Mills, Kraft Heinz, Mondelez is I like those 4. I would buy those 4 over Hershey, but yeah, look, let's go back to the time machine. 3 years. You can tell that I trade Mondelez a lot the last couple of years because the chart is insane. Let's remove some of this insane line, right? We don't need this. We don't need this. A lot of these are no longer needed. Too busy. Make it too messy. Now it's getting better. Now, it is important that Mondelez hold this line, okay? Because like I said, it's a reflow, so all the way down to the channel low. You don't want to fall back into this channel. And this is really not a good channel. I wouldn't call this a channel either. I worry more about this yellow line. Okay, I worry more about that yellow line because this line here, it's not really, you know, sure. Channel high, channel low, channel high, and then it's kind of, yeah, it's not a well-defined channel. Especially the past year is kind of like not relevant, but that yellow line and this trend line here is relevant. Okay, this purple line there is relevant. That need to hold. If not, it need to hold more because of reflow. Okay, because as you can see, it's not really a big deal. It was a useful line for shoulder, head, shoulder, right? Because once it broke, it kind of came down right into the max pain of the head and shoulder move. So that line was drawn more because of the head and shoulder pattern. But for now, I'm watching it. We all should, if you want some exposure to staples, snacks, and if the inflation story is alleviated somehow, these things will come roaring back. You can look at a 20% gain across the board on a lot of these stocks, okay, by Christmas. Just saying. All right, let's have a good week after a bloodbath last week.